record-breaking month, which, by the way, Florida, I want to give you all a big round of applause. We did end up being the #1 recruiting state again last month. So congratulations to all of you guys for all of your hard work. Just an amazing team and family that we are here in Florida. So really appreciate all the hard work, because the only way we get to #1 is by everyone working together. And you guys really, really made that happen. So again, housekeeping, make sure you keep your microphones muted throughout the training. We have assigned certain co-hosts that are going to help police the Zoom, so to speak, to help you guys out. And also, please co-host, and you know the co-host, right? Mr. David Hauser, incredible leader out of North Florida, and Mr. Jeffrey Lewis, covering the South Florida region as a regional director. Gentlemen, if you see any of our guest speakers come in, also make them co-host so that we can make this a smooth thing. So folks, without any further ado, I'm going to bring in our first, actually, no, I'm not. Look at me kidding. Let's start off with a little recognition, okay? If that's okay with you guys. Thumbs up if we do a little recognition here, because we ended up a strong month. So a lot of individuals qualified to be here, and we want to make sure that if it was your upline that invited you, that you get to see your upline being celebrated for qualifying to be here today. So without any further ado, folks, I'm going to go ahead and shut my mic and roll this scroll real quick, just to celebrate those individuals that doubled their recruiting from February to March. So congratulations to you folks. What an unbelievable job each and every one of you did. So again, congratulations. And next, we just want to quickly recognize, and I don't want to say quickly to take away any credit that's due to these individuals, the top recruiters for March. We just saw a scroll of individuals that doubled their recruiting month over month. But these individuals took the cake. Last month, just smashed it. These are the top recruiters for the month of March. Congratulations to Miss Paula Hendry for being the #1 recruiter last month. 7 recruits. Round of applause for her. Doing an amazing job every single month at the top of the charts, guys. We have a platinum in the making here. She's just an incredible recruiter. So let's go ahead and slide into and start kick this trainings off, right? So Mr. Don Thompson, if you don't know, today's his birthday, right? So he's not going to be with us today. He's actually in Ada, Oklahoma. So if you're friends with Don on Facebook, or if you have his phone number, shoot him a quick little text message. Hey, happy birthday. We wish you the best. Or maybe get on Facebook and celebrate him. Doing an amazing job with Legal Shield. So proud of the work that he's done so far with us. and everything that he's got coming. So he had a quick message. He still wanted to reach out and be with us today. It's just a recorded video. And this is the only one. Everyone else is going to be on here doing a live workshop with you folks. So just super excited for the rest of this training. So without any further ado, here is your president of the network division, $300,000 income earner, amazing leader and individual, Mr. Don Thompson.
Well, happy Monday, everybody. It's April the 5th, and I am super excited to be speaking with you this evening. Would have loved to have been live with you tonight, but my schedule, I had a conflict tonight, but I wanted to record this video for you. It is Monday afternoon, so I'm just a couple hours before you're going to see this. I'm here in Ada, Oklahoma. So many exciting things are happening right now, and I just want to encourage you to do a couple things to really get your April started right. There is no doubt that we are going to create massive momentum coming out of the International Convention next week. You know, the convention is always a great opportunity for us to get together, celebrate success, you know, just set our plans for the next 90 days, make our run till July the 1st. I have no doubt with what we have coming that you're going to have a great finish to April. But it's not about the finish to April. It's about the start of April. You know, it's funny. I was just planning a race that I'm doing with my son in June, and we're doing an Olympic triathlon, and he's gonna swim, and then I'm going to bike, and then he's going to run. It's a tag team event you're allowed to do, and we thought it'd be fun to do together. So I'm getting ready to do this 24-mile bike ride, and I thought to myself, I don't have to worry about the last 6 miles. I know that the excitement, the adrenaline, the momentum, everything will carry me through those last 6 miles. What I've got to focus on is the first 12 miles. Because if I can get off to a great start and set a great pace for myself, then I can really hit the time that I'm aiming for. Well, the same thing goes in your business. It's not about how you finish, it's about how you start. And you have the opportunity right now in the month of April to get off to a great start. You know, if you're going for executive director, what if you set a goal to be an executive director by April the 15th? Instead of setting a goal to be there by April the 30th, what if you set just a big, hairy, audacious goal to get to executive director by the 15th? What if you're going for senior director, but instead of setting a goal for senior director by the end of April, you set it for the 15th? Imagine what you can do this month if you already accomplish your goal by mid-month. You know, you get what you ask for. If you're asking for yourself to go executive director, that's what you're probably going to get. Why not say, I can go bronze this month? I can go silver this month. I'm a manager now. I can go senior manager. I can go all the way to director this month. Set a big goal. You know, right now we have our $99 Business Builder Bundle still in effect. We extended it through the International Convention. That gives you the opportunity to talk to prospects and get them started for only $99 right now. That includes the legal plan. That includes the identity theft plan. That includes the home business supplement, their associate startup fee, the first month of Legal Shield Advantage. We've never had an opportunity like this, and that's why March was such an incredible month of adding new associates, and now we can continue that momentum here in the month of April. So take it seriously this week. This is a critical week in your business. This is a week for you to explode your business. I was talking to Darnell Self earlier today, and he was sharing how he has 4 private Zoom calls that he's personally doing for new associates tonight because of this $99 Business Builder Bundle. If you want to know how the top income earners are doing what they're doing, it's because they have 4 private Zoom calls in one night. How many private Zoom calls do you have scheduled tonight or tomorrow or Wednesday? You know, if your answer is I don't have any tonight, get some on your schedule for tomorrow, for Wednesday. Have a sense of urgency. Also, take advantage of the April Run to Convention PC push that we have going on right now, which gives you the opportunity to earn extra bonus money right now. You know, which level, it's not a matter of if you're going to qualify for PC push. The question is only what level are you going to qualify for PC push? You know, 75 in personal network premium plus 1 new associate, level 1. Or are you going to go for level 2, $100 in personal network premium and 2 brand new associates? Are you going to go for level 3, $150 in personal network premium plus 3 brand new associates? I mean, level 1 gets you a $100 bonus. Level 2 gets you a $200 bonus. Level 3 gets you a $400 bonus. Also, you can have another chance at Cabo, as we're going to give away 3 trips to Cabo as part of this PC push. And you can get 1 entry for being at level 2 or 3 entries at level 3. So we've given you everything that you need to work with your team. See, PC push is not about you qualifying. It should be given that you are going to qualify. You should look at PC push and say, okay, I'm going for level 3. I am going to qualify. You make your own goal. What it's really for is for you to reach down in your organization and find out who on your team is going to qualify for these levels. It gives you a reason. If you're trying to go executive director by the 15th of this month, then you have to identify how many people do I need that are going to go after PC push. So if you have 10 people on your team that are going after PC push at the 4th level, there's 1,500 in premium in your organization. You're an executive director. It gives you the ability to reach in your organization, find out who's serious, and make those goals. So take advantage of what we have going on right now. I know you have some tremendous trainers that are going to be joining you on this special event tonight. You know, I have a lot of pride in Florida. I'm from Florida, still live in Florida, for those of you that don't know, in Southwest Florida. So I want to see Florida be #1 in recruiting and #1 in production. And don't tell any of the other states and provinces I said that. But you know, I want to help keep Florida #1. So look forward to you doing massive things in the month of April, taking Florida to that #1 spot, keeping Florida at the #1 spot for recruiting and production. And I know that you're going to get some great nuggets from these other trainers that you have on the Zoom, the event with you here tonight. So let's have a great start to April, and I will see you all at the 2021 International Convention coming up next week.
That's awesome. You know, what's really funny about that comment he made, there's actually some of the guest speakers here today are network vice presidents for 2 or 3 other states. So, hey, guys, no offense to you guys, but we all know Florida's #1, and we're going to stay #1, right? We do appreciate you hanging out with us today, though, and sharing that amazing knowledge to help all these amazing associates expand their businesses. So first up, ladies and gents, I would like to introduce your first speaker today, Miss Ariel Simone. She's a bronze executive director out of the North Carolina area, $50,000 income earner. If you've ever heard her train or speak, you know she's powerful, she's dynamic. So please, please, please take some good notes because she is fire. Miss Simone, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me, Mr. Gonzalez?
Absolutely.
I'm so grateful to be here with you guys. Family, family, family. My name is Ariel Simone. As your market leader said, like when I tell you phenomenal network vice president, phenomenal leadership, Florida has, and I do want to say congratulations on being #1 because I celebrate, okay? But first off, family, note takers are history makers, so please grab your pen, grab your pads, because this event was put on because your leadership cares. This event was put on because you guys worked hard for it, right? And so I'm excited to talk to you all this evening about positioning. And, you know, I don't necessarily know if it's a law, but I get to go ahead and describe something that's been brewing in my heart, in my soul for some time, because positioning is important, right? And before I get started, I have you guys for 10 minutes, and I'm excited because I'm going to give you everything I got. So I might speak a little fast. Forgive me if I do, but I am from New York, Queens, New York, born and raised, for those that want to know a little background. I am a creativepreneur, as I like to call it. I am an artist, but I was also a small business owner. I graduated from Howard, got my degree in chemistry, went into the workforce. I was actually a pharmaceutical chemist for some time and an analytical chemist, and I loved it. But when I went to own my own business, I recognized the importance of having voices in my community, right? And all of us joined Legal Shield for some reason. I'm not sure if it's retirement. I'm not sure if you want to be able to lead from the front so that your children see you creating. I don't know if you have a passion or something that you need this income to be able to fuel, because this is a vehicle, right? But family, I want us to recognize that beautiful things. Oh, sorry, we're going to go ahead and mute out. I found it. Beautiful things come to those that are positioned properly. Okay, so let me go ahead and give you all the definition of position. It's to put or arrange something in a particular place or way. And we see this in sports. We see it happen, right? When we have the outfielder that's going to go ahead and catch the ball, right? When we have the track runner that has to place the baton, probably in the hand if they're doing a relay. We've seen it happen where positioning matters. Can I get some hands up if you guys know what I'm saying, right? We see it. But family, do we recognize it in our business? Do we recognize it in our walk with what this business is supposed to do for us? And so I want us to recognize that in order to position ourselves properly, we first have to let go of what we think is a success and what we think is a failure. Because these are social made constructs in spaces that we put ourselves in because we feel like it has to work out a particular way. And what do I mean by that? Some of us feel like, oh, I've been in this business for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. I should be positioned differently. Maybe I should be an executive director already. Maybe I feel like I should be a platinum or a ring earner. But family, I want us to respect where we are. I want us to know where we have to go. And I want us to release what we think should be or shouldn't be. Because watch this. Legal Shield had its best year in 2020 that it had in 18 years. Was Legal Shield not doing well before that? No, we were doing excellent. But guess what? We were positioned and ready for when things went haywire in the world. We were ready to be able to be there for families. Okay? Guess what? Because we were positioned properly, because Jeff Bell, our CEO, had foresight, and he said, how about we make sure that every attorney could work from home? How about we make sure that every associate has Zoom in their back office? Family, do we see the power of positioning? Right? And so I want to ask you, how are you positioning your success for 5 years from now? 10 years from now? 15 years from now? Because the second thing we have to release outside of success and failures is immediate gratification. What's immediate gratification, family? When we do something today and we want results today, or we want it tomorrow, or we want it a month from now. But is it okay if your gratification comes 10 years from now? Is it okay if your win comes 18 years from now? Because you positioned yourself properly. You know, we see the story of Mr. Alex Shaheed, and we go, wow, he went from 50K to 200K in a year or less than that, but do we not recognize that he was positioned for it? So family, I ask, what failure do you think helped you get to your success? Write that down for me right now. I want us to put down 3 failures, and I put those in air quotes because it's just that. I want us to put down 3 things that we wish we could have done better that actually propelled us to our success. My mentor, as you guys are writing, my mentor, Mr. late, great John Gardner, used to tell me, oh, but Ariel, the universe is conspiring to do us good. This is good. Now it's our job to find out what's good about it. Because you're working toward a goal, family. You're working toward a vision. And unless we respect and understand the law of positioning, we'll let it go too soon. Where else did we see this happen? How many of us have read Think and Grow Rich? Right? How many of us remember the story 3 Feet from Gold? What if he just would have repositioned himself? What would that have done for his family's legacy? And so I hope this makes complete sense to us here on this Zoom tonight. Because the beautiful thing about the coaching and the mentorship and the leadership that we have is they're going to say, hey, let me be your GPS. Mr. Gonzalez is going to say, let me position you the right way. So you heard Mr. Thompson say, what about going for bronze executive director? What about going for gold? What about going for platinum? What about qualifying executive director so that the next time the company rolls out a bonus program, we're positioned properly? And I'll share this with you all as I close out. I came into this business when I was 26 years old, and I ran hard for executive director. I qualified in 5 months, and then I took a dip. Right? How many of us have taken a dip in life? Then I took a dip, and I said, "Ooh, that kind of hurt." But when I took that dip, family, I said, "Okay, Ariel, we have to get back up, because even though we're not ED this month, we may not even be executive director the month after that. We're still running hard because we have to be positioned." And it's not just for the money. This is what I told myself. It's not just for the money, but it's for the exampleship. And so the more that we find ways to position ourselves for service, whether it's personal development, right? We're making sure that our mental is right. We're making sure that we are leading from the front. We're making sure that we're accessible to our team. The more that we can position ourselves for the successes to come, family, the next time the bonus program came around, I remember we were in Dallas and it rolled out, and I was qualified. So I was positioned to be able to win. But what if I had given up 3 months ago, 4 months ago? I would have never been in the race. And so, family, I want everybody to get on their starting blocks. I want you to get into the right form. I want you to have your coach on the sidelines telling you when you're ready to go. And I want us to all run our own race, letting go of everybody else's stories, everybody else's successes, right? What we think failures are or aren't. I want us to release that. And I just want us to get ourselves in position, because when the gun goes off, when the ball is ready to be caught, when the next bonus program comes around, guess who's going to be ready? Kathy, you're going to be ready. Larry, you're going to be ready. Right? Joanne, you're going to be ready. Kimberly, you're going to be ready, because you took on the law of position. Mr. Gonzalez, I'm just so grateful for you allowing me to share. Family, congratulations on everything. Congratulations on taking your business to the next level. And I'm just so grateful that you let go of immediate gratification. You did the consistent activity and you got yourself in position. Bye, family.
Absolutely amazing. Miss Simone, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to be with us tonight. Just fire. I got goosebumps listening to you, page of notes. And you know what, ladies and gents, I think we can all agree, thumbs up if you believe that Miss Simone has positioned herself to hit platinum, right? Because we all know, and I'm going to claim that for you, girl, you are platinum heart. It is all you. So super proud of you and super proud of everything that you got coming, because you position yourself for it. I truly believe that. So, ladies and gents, next up, we have another incredible trainer that was going to step in and bless us with some great knowledge. You've all seen him, heard him before. Mr. Joshua Lockhart. He's an MVP for the state of Georgia. He's also the SNVP for the Young Pros, $150,000 ring earner. Guys, you want to hear an acceleration story? This is it right here. Mr. Lockhart has done amazing things. And this past year alone, Ms. Simone mentioned Mr. Shahid, but Mr. Lockhart has also positioned himself over the years of time to hit the levels that he's hit. So I'm super proud of this individual. He's a great friend, and it's an absolute honor to have him take some time to be with us tonight. Mr. Lockhart, if you are there and able, you could unmute yourself and come on in, sir.
Hey, I got you. Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Great to be here. Miss Simone, you're looking and sounding fantastic. And I love what you said, positioning. And so as she was saying that, I was thinking about my business. I've been here for nearly 14 years. Started in my early young pro days. Now I'm in my late young pro days, but we're just going to leave it at that. And, so we went out in 2020 and did over a double in business and tripled our income, right? How do you, if you've been around for a while, you're like, man, how do you go and do a double? Now, when I got started in the business, somebody told me, now, if you can relate, give me a thumbs up, either in the chat or on camera. Have you ever been told, hey, this is how you build this business? Do 2 presentations a day, work with the willing and go where you're not needed. Has anybody ever heard that? Okay. And it's so funny that with all the change we have, we went from in-person to virtual. We have all these tools and Prospect by Legal Shield, and we're on Zoom now with 120 people plus, on a random Monday night. Florida's #1, right behind Georgia. Just want to throw that out, but I'm not going to say any more about that. So anyway, but with all the change, right, with the time change and the circumstances and technology, as much as things change, things stay the same. Right? What do we do in 2021 to really build our business and grow our business? 2 presentations a day. We call it engagements, right? You do 2 a day, you work with the willing, and you go where you're not needed. Now, I heard that. I'm like, what is that? What does that mean? Go where you're not needed. I thought you go where you're needed. And, that means go where the people that are doing it, you invest your time in that. You could also say one thing to speed up your pace is, you look for influence, right? You look for people who have influence in their communities, influence, that could mean a lot of things. But what Miss Simone said was really, really good, no matter where you're at in your business. So, here I am, a guy who's done a lot of personal activity, recruited hundreds of people, but to do the amount of growth that we had, someone might say, well, what did you do in 20? I've been asked this. What did you do in 2020 to have all that growth? And the answer is truthfully, absolutely nothing. I did it in 2019 and 2018 and 2017 and 2016. And so now we have some teams that are doing big numbers, and all of them, one of them started 10 years ago. One of them started 2 years ago. One started 10 months ago, didn't have a fast start. And so, like she said, a lot of that has to do with planting the seeds, the 2 presentations today, all the not fun stuff. You know what I mean? That today, if you did 2 presentations, you're like, maybe no one signed up or, got a goose egg for the day. Well, that's okay. But maybe tomorrow, the 2 that you do, one of them could be the next senior director, executive director in your business, right? I got a guy that's, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. He's on pace to hit his 50K this year in his 2nd year of the business. Now we'll see if it happens this year or next year, right? But on a random Tuesday, when I was doing my 2 exposures, when I probably didn't even feel like it, I got 2 little girls. They're beautiful, 6 and 3. And they were probably like, Daddy, we come to the playground. And I was like, I'll come just after I make my phone calls that I don't even feel like doing. And now I have somebody on my team that's putting up those kinds of numbers. So, just be encouraged in what she said. And if you're doing those things now, again, don't get lost in all of the, this video or that video, or do I do this thing or that thing? However, you got to do 2 presentations, work with the willing and go where you're not needed. That's what you should do. Okay. But of course he said the young pros. So I gotta talk about young professionals for just a minute. Right. So it makes mathematical sense that if you were going to have a business, you would want to have a bunch of young people. Okay, because they have a longer runway than some other folks. So my dad was a pastor, and maybe if you've ever been to a big church, I love this analogy. If you go to a big church, they have a big audience. They on purpose put people on the stage that they want in the audience, right? So if you have one age and one race on stage, you're going to have one kind of general age and race in the audience. If you have a blend of everything, you're going to have a blend of everything in the audience. And that's a lot about what the young pros. Now, is the young pros doing different things than the rest of us? Not really. It's more about, it's more about a vibe. It's more about community. But I'm going to give you something else, okay? How many people here, when, you think about how do I recruit people or how do I introduce people to Legal Shield, you do something like this, right? You invite them to take a look at a third-party tool. They look at some information. Maybe it's a video, maybe it's a Zoom. Then you do a 3-way phone call. Then maybe you get them to some kind of event if they haven't gone so already, and then they get in. Does that sound about right? Okay. But how many has ever had somebody go through this example? I talked to Daniel Gonzalez. Today's Monday. He goes, it looks amazing. And then I do a 3-way call with Mr. Aaron Browning, who just crushes it. And Daniel's like, I'm in. I get paid on Friday. I'll get started Friday at 2 p.m. And we're like, And then between now and Friday, he vanishes, never be heard from again. Has that ever happened to anybody? All right. So if you could be a spot, like a fly on the wall, And, you know, throughout that week, Daniel's talking to people. He's looking at stuff online. He's Googling stuff. He's YouTubing stuff. Lord knows what he's seeing. Who even knows? But what if you could make sure you're putting the right information in front of Daniel, positive, inspiring, educational information 24/7, even when you sleep, right? To maybe even just give a shot to keep his interest till Friday. Wouldn't that be great? Well, we got it solved for you, you know, wonder no more. And that is the community of young pros, right? So if you go to youngproconnect.com, it'll get you to all the different places that we have. And you can fill out the form to be the first to know. At the bottom, there's a little form. Anytime we got something going on, we'll send out text and everything. You be the first to know anything we got. But here's what's important. We have an Instagram page. And you're like, I'm not on Instagram. Don't worry about it. We also have a YouTube channel. Why is that important? Is that just cool stuff that we put out? No. If you use it in the way I'm going to describe, and we got 3 more minutes, okay? So let's say that I talked to Daniel, and he's like, man, this is really cool. For example, on YouTube, now Daniel does this as well for Florida, so you should be taking advantage of this, okay? I just did an interview with President Don Thompson about a week or so ago, and I know Daniel's done this as well. So if I was somebody who's like, okay, you know, he says he's in, but I want to really make sure that he gets the picture of the company and what's possible, right? What you can really do with this. Say, hey, Daniel, listen, I'm going to drop you. We have a YouTube channel. I'm going to drop you an interview I did with the president of the company. He started at 23, just broke, regular guy. He's made a couple $1 million with the company. Now he's the president of the company. It's amazing. And I'll drop him that, and he'll go watch that. And you know what he'll probably do? He will deep dive and veg out on all the content that we have there. Same thing with Instagram. I've seen prospects do it, right? They're like, yeah, I just really like the different types of people that do this. It's really cool that you have all different types. I'll say, great. I just, you know, there's a video story of a Miss Ariel Simone on our Instagram page. Go check it out. I'll link them up to it. Next thing I know, I'll see them like and comment on every stinking thing that we have on the Instagram. They'll like it all. They'll just like binge on the Instagram page, right? And so that's just reselling them on the decision that they already made. Right. And so that's how you can recruit somebody when you're not physically there, because let's face it, you could do all the 3-way calls you want to do, but there's gaps when they're scrolling at night. So why not put positive information in front of them? We say, turn your car into Drive Time University, right? Why not use the Florida Live that's every week? Why not use the Young Pro podcast where we talk about training topics and all these things every single week? So your person's not only seeing the good information, but they're seeing it from Legal Shield folks, and it's just reselling them on the decision that they've already made, right? So I'm telling you, I've seen it on the back end, what people are doing and how they're going through it. So if you use it like that, you'll see an extra ratio, an extra result in your recruiting. And so lastly, of course, we got convention coming up. Our breakout session for the young pros is next Thursday. And if you go to, we got 2 things going on. If you just want to make sure that you know where it's at and where to go, it'll be up on the calendar tonight, but you can go to youngproshowcase.com, youngproshowcase.com. That's going to be next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Okay. But for any of my young folks, right, if you're young pro qualified, all right. Now, if you're not young pro qualified, we refer to you as wise pros. I hope that's okay. So either you're young pro qualified or you're just a wise pro. If you're young pro qualified, make it on over to this URL, and that's going to be ypcompound.eventbrite.com. And what that is we have 100 people that have a VIP backstage access for our breakout session. And we have 55 people registered, so there's 45 slots left. If you go there and register, that's backstage passes. It's free, right? But backstage passes to our events. So it's going to be great. Look forward to seeing you there. And any questions, hit me up. I'll put my email in the chat. It's joshualockhart@legalshieldcorp.com. If you have any young pro questions, or maybe you have somebody in Georgia, you want to send them on over, make sure they're taken care of. We got you. Mr. Gonzalez, appreciate you, sir. Back to you.
Real quick before you leave, Mr. Lockhart, thank you for your time. I'm sure you got it on already, but can we please see that brand new ring that you just put on your finger, man?
Come on, man. Yeah,
There it is. There it is. 150K ring. You just got it in the mail. congratulations to you, sir, and your family and all the success you're having. Thank you for being on with us tonight. We truly, truly appreciate your leadership. And there you have it. We put all of those links that he was referring to in the chat. So if you need the links to get to any of the Young Pro stuff, again, it's right there in the chat. So up next, ladies and gentlemen, we have some more fire for you. We're going to bring up an insanely incredible individual when it comes to leadership, when it comes to momentum, when it comes to building big and building hard, but building the right way, which is why I'm so excited to have this gentleman on with us today. Florida, we've had him here in Florida training and helping us build our businesses. And every single time, I'm just speaking from personal experience, right? He pushes me. I mean, just listening to him, he pushes me to do better, to shoot for more, to think bigger, to think better and faster. So without any further ado, I'd like to invite in Mr. Aaron Browning, Silver Executive Director, $300,000 income earner, and a network vice president with Legal Shield. Mr. Browning, are you on, my friend?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, loud and clear. Let me know. You should be able to share,
Cool.
but let me know if you can't. Appreciate you.
I appreciate it, man. Appreciate the kind words. By the way, I don't know what I did to offend you to make me follow Mr. Lockhart. Not cool at all. He killed it as always. I wrote down that Instagram trick. I love that. Control the message, right? Control the narrative, guys. That's so, so powerful. And I was not aware of that. So I appreciate that, Mr. Lockhart. Guys, I'm excited. I got a tight window. I already talk fast. So as my mentor, Mr. Carruthers, says, it means you guys need to listen faster, right? Because I'm going to try to bring it. I just lost my train of thought looking at Josh laughing at me. But guys, listen, we're going to go back to the basics. We're going to talk about the welcome call, right? I know I've touched on this in Florida, but it is so, so important. I get calls, texts, messages every single day. What are you guys doing to launch? So I want to focus the next 15 minutes on exactly what we do to launch a brand new associate. And guys, please pick up my language, right? Daniel Gonzalez will tell you I am purposeful with it. I say launch because our team isn't here to get anybody started. That's not what this is about. I want to get people paid and promoted as quickly as humanly possible, right? And we do that with that launch system. But it all starts with a welcome call, guys. Right? All starts with a welcome call. I don't want to lose anybody. I don't want anybody being like, oh, welcome call. In fact, are you guys cool if I share a quick story with you? Right? I want to talk about how this welcome call changed everything for me. I was 6 months into this Legal Shield journey, right? Which is crazy. It's only a year and a half ago, right? We've only been here about 2 years. 6 months in, I send my mentor from afar. Oh, I see Mr. Cliff Malloy. Love it. All-star cast here, guys. I send my mentor, Mr. Self, a text message, right? I had a glass of wine, maybe 2, maybe 3. So I had the courage to send that text. And I said, Mr. Self, I have a boat. We live about an hour apart from each other, 30 minutes. I said, hey, I'd be honored if I took you out on the boat. Guys, guess what he says? He says, yes. I look over at my wife and I said, I can't even believe it. We got Mr. Self coming on the boat, right? We're both nervous, like thinking he was going to say no. But the liquid courage gave me the courage to actually send that text. So he fires back and he says, when? I said, how about next weekend? He goes, work for me. Let's do it on Saturday. Friday leading up to this, guys, this is huge. Stay with me on this. He sends me a text and says, Aaron, do you mind if I bring a friend or two? I said, Mr. Self, they're a friend of yours. They're a friend of mine. Bring whoever you want. Do you guys want to know who Mr. Self brought on that boat that day? You guys ready for this? It was Mr. Marty Wynn. Anybody heard of Marty Wynn? Throw a 1 in the chat box if you know Marty Wynn's name, right? Him and his amazing wife, Isra. So they're on the boat. He's 3 months into this journey. I'm about 6 months in. This boat ride, it was like 8 or 9 hours, guys. It turned into a mastermind. Like if we could have taped it, we could have made millions off the tapes. Like it was that good. But one of the conversations that changed everything for me that day is Mr. Self, as he does, he leaned over to me and said, Aaron, talk to me about welcome calls on your team. I said, oh, Mr. Self, I don't do welcome calls. And he smirks at me like he does so well. And he says, tell me more. I said, I don't do them because it slows me down. I'm here to recruit. I get them on board to plug them into the system. I'm on to the next. I'm on to the next. I got to bring more people in. Anybody else relate to that? Right? And he said, interesting, Aaron, how are you identifying talent? Guys, see, he hit a nerve that day. I learned in real estate that we are all talent scouts. Write that down. Every single one of us are talent scouts, my friends. That is our number one job, is to be looking for talent, looking for people of influence like Mr. Lockhart was teasing about, right? It's so, so important. I said, I don't understand what you're saying. He said, Aaron, let me teach you something. My welcome call is how I identify talent. I said, Mr. Self, you got my full attention. Tell me more, right? And so he walked us through that. He said, Aaron, you can be on the phone with a brand new prospect, a brand new associate, whether you sponsor him somewhere on the team, In 5 minutes, if I could show you a way to identify whether or not they're a runner, whether or not they're a builder, would that help your organization? I said, oh my gosh, you have no idea. Are you guys tracking with me on this? I share this with you because someone on this call might be relating to me saying, yes, you've heard about welcome calls, but no, you're not doing them. I'm not judging. I wasn't either. I had to have a reason of why it was important to me for me to go do that because I wasn't excited about it, right? And so for me, it was that talent piece, that talent shift. It changed everything. With that, let me share my screen real quick, guys. I want to make sure I don't forget anything for you. Cool. So I want to touch briefly, guys, on how we launch them, right? So on our team, guys, so important, right? Our welcome calls are done within 24 hours, not 2 days, not 3 days, not next week. The best leaders on my team are doing these within hours. I have one guy right now I'm running with. He does a welcome call. Literally, he'll take an application. He's texting me, calling me, blowing up my phone within minutes. That person hasn't even hung up the phone yet, right? You guys have all heard it. This business loves speed, guys. Success loves speed. So here's our goal. Here's our goal with the welcome call. We have three of them, guys, right? It's going to be an upline director, upline senior director, upline ED. Any of you that don't have one of those, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Find anybody. If you don't have an upline, don't worry about it. Go sideline. Look at the great state of Florida, 150 people on this call, right? Go ask a sister, cousin. It doesn't matter. Give into the world and they will give back to you, my friends, right? So don't let that block you. So here are the three goals of the welcome call. I already teased one, right? It's to anchor the new associate. I want Mr. Gonzalez, my new associate, to know that this company is bigger than me, to know it's bigger than his sponsor, Mr. Josh Lockhart, as hard as that is to believe, right? It's about the 40,000 people we have, the 40,000 people on Facebook, guys. I want them to get anchored. Then second thing, to Mr. Self's point, guys, I want to be able to identify talent. And then the third thing, and probably the most important, my passion in this company, is that PZC launch, guys. Let me touch on how we do our welcome call. And we're going to kind of end it on this, guys, but I really want to make sure, take a screenshot of this if you haven't already seen it, right? So important, right? So these welcome calls, guys, they're 5 minutes long. How long? Throw it in the chat box. How long? I see a lot of fives. Not 7, not 10, not 15. I told you I'm going to keep it real, guys. Part of leadership is having fierce conversations. If you as a leader or your leader are doing 15, 20-minute welcome calls, they're missing the mark. You don't need it. It's way too long, guys. So copy this blueprint. So let's say I see David, I see Daniel. Daniel is the sponsoring associate. He's been on my team for a month. He just signed up. David, he gets him on the phone with me. He's going to edify me quickly. We're not going to touch on that. You guys know that as leaders, how to do it, right? Really important. I'm going to say, David, this is a welcome call. It is 5 minutes long. I'm telling him how long it's going to be. You guys see that? Tell him. We grow into the conversations around us. Mr. David, real quick, tell me your 15-second story. Give me your 15-second background. He's going to run with that, guys. Here's what I love about this question, and don't skip it. Whatever he leads with is important to him. You guys tracking with me? Some people lead with family. Some people lead with career. Some people lead with something miserable going in their life. It's their story, not my story. But in 15 seconds, they're going to give me their hot button. They're going to give me something that I might be able to attach to their big why. Never talked about that before, guys. So important. I'm going to say, cool, David, thank you so much for sharing, my friend. Real quick, do you mind if I share my story? By the way, guys, those of you that heard me do this, I know Daniel has, I do this in question format. I keep it in conversation. That's what sales is. It's a transfer of energy, transfer of belief. It's not me talking for 5 minutes, right? So I want to get permission. David, real quick, do you mind if I share my story? He says, yes. Awesome. David, I got introduced to this company and you guys can share whatever you want. It's going to be between 30 and 45 seconds. Don't go long here. This is not 2 to 5 minutes. It's not a beat my chest. Here's my rings. Here are my awards. They're going to hear about all that stuff on team calls, company, all that other fun stuff. Let it happen organically. It's not important to this call right now. Is that fair? Okay, cool. I see a lot of heads. So share that 30 to 45 second. I say, awesome, David. Thank you for letting me share it. Real quick, David, do you mind if I share our team's story? Guys, so important. Look at David. He loves it, right? So important, guys. All of our teams have stories. If you're not on a team that has a good story, steal mine. I don't care. Steal the company's. I think it was Ariel that said it. Our company, guys, we had a record-setting year last year in the middle of COVID. Broke 10-year-old records. If you don't have energy, you don't have posture right now, you're not in your winning season, borrow hers, borrow mine, borrow Mr. Gonzalez, borrow Lockhart's, borrow Mr. Malloy, borrow the companies, guys. The company is winning. Talent hangs out with talent. You are around winners. Your posture is going to come, but borrow it until you get it, right? So share that quick story, right? So for me, if I'm talking to David again, David, real quick, I saw on GroupMe you just got welcomed. You got welcomed on our Facebook page. You had 31 people welcome you to the team. How cool is that? Off script, guys, people love it. They love recognition. David, real quick, so many people said welcome to the #1 team in all of Legal Shield. Want you to know that's not sales hype, sales jargon, my friend. You just joined one of the top teams in the entire company, guys. We are breaking 48-year-old records left and right. And the cool part about this, David, it has nothing to do with me, nothing to do with Mr. Gonzalez, your sponsor. We're just better at following a model. We're better at plugging into a system than a lot of other teams, unfortunately. And the cool part here, David, we're going to gift you that system here today. Is that cool with you? Cool, guys, off script. Here's what happens with this, guys. Sorry, I keep doing my hands. I get jacked when I do this, right? Here's what happens. David just got drafted by an award-winning team. He just got drafted by Tampa Bay. I used to say New England. I can't say them anymore. Tampa Bay, baby. I'm a Redskins fan. It is what it is. But he got drafted by Tampa Bay. When you get drafted by an award-winning team, a Super Bowl winning team, I should say, you walk into that locker room going from 6 feet tall to 8.5 feet tall. It's borrowed posture. David doesn't want to be the reason our team goes from #1 to #3, from #1 to #5. So he walks in already floating, right? Walking on water, glowing in the dark, guys. So important. Here are the next 2 questions. How am I doing on time? I think I'm okay. A couple more minutes. Question 4 and 5, guys. So important. I am pleading. I am begging. Mr. Self can do it in 1. I'm not as smart as him, and I'm not as talented as him. I don't think I ever will be, right? He is a whole different level. So I have to do it in 2 questions. If you're more talented than me, do it in 1. You can just do question 4. I'm going to show you both. So real quick, David, why Legal Shield? Off script again, guys. 2 answers. 2 answers here, right? No answer is wrong because both answers are David's. They're not Daniel's. They're not Ariel's. They're not mine. They're not Mr. Lockhart. It's his answer, right? 2 answers, right? It's one of 2 lanes. This is why it's so simple. He's going to say, because my friend David, I've been friends with him since high school. He said, do it. And I just said, hey, you know what? Why not try it? Or answer number 2 is because I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I am sick and tired of being overworked and underpaid. I am sick and tired of punting on my dreams. Guys, which answer? Answer 1 or answer 2 screams runner, screams talent, screams builder. It better be transparent, guys. It's crystal clear, right? Question number 2, step number 5. David, real quick, how much money do you need to make a month for this to be a win for you? Here's the cool thing, guys. I'm not very smart. There are 2 answers. That's it. 2 answers. Doesn't get easier. David's either going to say, Aaron, if you could get this to $200 a month, I could pay my phone bill, my cable bill. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. I'd be all right with that, right? Or answer number 2 is, I need to get this to $10,000 a month yesterday. Aaron, tell me what I need to do, who I need to become, and where I need to go to get there, and I'm all in. Guys, real quick, throw a 1 for answer 1 or answer 2 in the chat box. I did the same thing for Super Saturday, guys. It is that powerful. Once again, no judgment. But our job as leaders, guys, especially as your team start to grow, and that is my wish, that is my prayer, that is my belief for each and every one of you on this call today, guys, is that we got to get better at identifying talent. We all have 24 hours in a day. I don't have time to lock arms with every single person in my organization. I've only been here 2 years. I physically don't. So my job is I want to hang out with the 20% of the people that are going to do 80% of the work on my team. 80-20 principle, guys. And the only way I have found to do that is through this welcome call. One of my biggest fears with this whole company, guys, with the opportunity that we have before us, is that I get the next Ariel. I get the next Daniel Gonzalez, the next Josh Lockhart. Someone on my team recruited them, but I never got my hands on them. They had 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Things didn't go the way they saw it fit, and they're out. You guys cool if I'm transparent again? I hear this mistake a lot, guys, a lot. Sorry, my hands are all over the place. A lot of people say talent won't quit. Talent won't leave. It's BS. It's BS, guys. You want to know why? Guys, talent is already talented. They're already doing well most of the time. Not all the time. Some people are looking for the break, but most of the time they're already doing well. They're already kicking on all cylinders. So they come over here to be a volunteer army, right? They saw some sort of value, yet they didn't see the money. Maybe they didn't see the leadership. They didn't have a win right off the gate. So what do? They go back to their safety net of what's already producing. Guys, that's what talent does. That thought, guys, I'm telling you, it keeps me up at night that I get an Ariel in my organization, but I didn't grab her. I didn't lock arms with her. I didn't help lead her to where she wanted to go. She has 1 foot in, 1 foot out the door, guys. Once again, if you're motivated by pain or pleasure, figure it out. But that pain point for me changed everything. That's why I preach welcome calls. That's why we do these all day long. We're doing it personally. I do anywhere from conservatively 7 of these a day to probably as many as 25. I mean, it's nuts, guys. We're doing these all day long. Okay, cool. And then step number 6, I only got 2 more minutes. Step number 6 is to set the date and time for the PCC launch, guys. Anybody that's followed me long enough, you know this is my bread and butter. My job, you guys ready for this? My job, if you're a new associate in my world, in my team, in my organization, whatever you want to call it, my number one job is to get inside your database today. My number one job is to get inside your database today, guys. Every day from them filling out the application to them actually doing something, they're less likely to ever be here. I know we don't talk about that a lot. I got to be honest with you. If I can show someone to get a win, I can get them paid and promoted inside their first couple hours, inside their first 24 hours, guys, they're locked and loaded. And that comes with speed, guys, with speed. You guys, Mr. Gonzalez, what time am I off? I'll make sure I don't go long. Sorry, man.
You got another minute left. You're good.
Another minute. Real quick, guys. My script for the PCC, I'm going to give it to you guys right now. You ready? Because it's not for everybody. I used to tailor it to who I was talking to. Nope. This PCC is for people that want to launch. It's people that want to run. And I'm okay with that, guys. That's not for everybody. And you guys need to be okay with that, in my humble opinion. So if I have Daniel on the phone, Daniel, real quick, I want to talk to you about what so many new team members just like you are doing to launch their business, what they're doing to get paid and promoted today. You ready for it? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to pick a date and time today. We're going to pick a date and time in the next 24 hours. If it's 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock at night, right? Next 24 hours that works for all three of us. I'm going to give you over a Zoom link and the sickest script you've ever seen, my friend. This script has recruited 2,000 people in the last 2 years alone. I'm going to gift it to you today. You're going to send it out to everybody you know in your warm market, people you know, like, love, and trust, people you'd have over for Sunday dinner, a graduation party, a Saturday barbecue. You tracking with me, Daniel? Awesome. Here's the cool part. Here's where the leverage kicks in. You're going to hop on this call tomorrow at 5. You're going to wave to your friends and family like you're in a parade. I'm going to do all the heavy lifting for you because tomorrow at 5, I work for you, my friend. I'm going to run the sickest 25-minute presentation this company's ever seen. I'm going to cover both memberships and the opportunity, and everyone's going to see value just like you did. I'll answer any questions at the end of that. And here's what I'm going to share with you, Daniel. Over the last 2 years of me running this PCC launch, 70% of the guests that hop on end up joining your team, my friend. My question for you, Daniel, are you ready to get launched? And that's what I do, guys. That is what I do. Mr. Gonzalez, I will turn it back over to you, my friend. I applaud your leadership, guys. What you do here in Florida, this is crazy. Like, I see Elsie, I love you. I see all these like rock stars in the cast. I just love it. Anyway, Mr. Gonzalez, appreciate you, my friend. Appreciate your leadership.
Man, appreciate you, sir. And thank you for all that you do. I mean, it's servant leadership. I mean, Mr. Browning never says no. And he said something very significant to me a few days back. And he says that every hour of the day, he's thinking about his family. Every minute, you only have it once. So is what you're doing in that minute putting more money in the bank for your kids and your family, or is it taking money away? And I appreciate him taking time out of his day away from his family to help all of us grow our businesses. Just an incredible leader, sir. Thank you so much for your time and for your leadership. So without any further ado, guys, I'm going to bring in yet another incredible speaker here, just doing phenomenal things. You've all seen or heard of him before. He was recently in Florida for a Super Saturday. Mr. Cliff Malloy is a Platinum World Council member, $400,000 income earner, millionaire club member. He's also a state vice president. Without any further ado, Mr. Cliff Malloy, are you there, sir?
Yes, sir, Mr. Gonzalez. Can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear. The floor is yours.
Listen, Mr. Browning, what the hell are you doing, man? You get me all fired up over here. I had to take a sip of some 5-hour energy, man, just to keep up, just to bring my energy up to your level, man. So listen, you got me fired up, sir. All of you did. This is just incredible. And I'm looking at the faces of the audience, so to speak, in Florida, and some folks dialed in from other places I see. And this is just exciting to bring together this. And we appreciate your leadership, Mr. Gonzalez. For those that don't know me, I'm not going to go into my story, but you'll have to learn eventually because I don't have time. So how you doing? I'm Cliff Malloy. I just want to say I'm grateful to be here, and I'm grateful that you all have plugged into this incredible event. What a phenomenal lineup of leadership. As a matter of fact, I saw many of you just last month. I was honored at the invitation to participate in the Florida Super Saturday event. So that was absolutely a lot of fun and phenomenal. However, it was recorded. This is live. So I will apologize for anything I might say in this live event in advance. I know it's been recorded, so I'll do my best to be good. All right. So with that said, I do want to speak to something that's very important, because I know many of you, and not everyone, I know some folks might be plugged into the business solution side, but even if you are, you can take away something from what I'm about to share, because I know that you certainly won't mind growing a team, right? Even if it's in business solutions. You know, look what Mr. Mark Riches did, right? Mr. Mark Riches was solely a business solutions associate. And then he said, you know, I'm killing myself here doing everything by myself. You know, if something happens to me, yes, I'll have some residual income, but I'll lose, you know, that active side of my income. And he started building a team. So he built a team around business solutions. But primarily, I'm a network marketer, and Legal Shield is a little bit different. You know, we're kind of a hybrid type of network company where you can network the network side and also network the business solution side. But what I want to speak to tonight is some philosophies, some ideas around building a large organization. And I know many of you will, you know, do this business on a part-time or spare time basis. So you really do want to build a large organization. You want to build a large team, and that is highly exciting. So what I want to speak to tonight is just some ideas around that. First thing I want to speak to is a paradigm that many folks who join Legal Shield have to adjust to. And unfortunately, some don't make the adjustment and they quit before they understand this business. And that's really the greatest tragedy of all, is when people leave the business. And, you know, if you've been in this business for 30 days, 90 days, for a year or under a year, and you quit, the tragedy is not that you quit, but you quit with so much experience. That's the challenge with folks who left us before they really had the greater understanding of this business, is that they learned some things during the time that they've been in Legal Shield. They made some mistakes. Maybe it didn't go well, but they've gained experience along the way, and they didn't see it for experience. They just saw it as the frustration. That's all temporary. But when you join Legal Shield, many of us that do this on a part-time or spare time basis, many of us never had experience in network direct sales. And we come to this business with just, you know, a certain paradigm from working for others, or maybe you've been a manager or you are a manager in your full-time job of others. But we bring the corporate America management paradigm to Legal Shield. And when you recruit a few associates, and now maybe you're even at the manager level, I want you to understand, being a manager at that level, the manager level in Legal Shield, is not necessarily make you a manager of people. And that's the biggest challenge. You know, if you recruit 3, 4, or 5 people in the business, or you have a team of 10 or 15 people, what you don't want to be is a manager of those people. You don't need to manage independent associates. You know, Jim Rohn once said that trying to manage people in network direct sales is like trying to herd cats. And if anyone has ever tried to get a cat to do something, it ain't gonna work unless they want to do it themselves, right? So the fact is, we're independent associates, and quite frankly, how many agree? Nobody wants another boss, right? We got one of them double SOBs, you know, during the day. We don't want another one, you know, we got them 9 to 5. We don't want another one 5 to 9. And on the weekends, you know, and at conventions, we don't want another boss. What we want is leadership, right? Give us some direction in the direction of things that we want to accomplish for ourselves. So, you know, what Mr. Browning said in finding and establishing or identifying someone's why is really important. Now, I do have a habit of talking fast. So if I talk too fast, keep up. That's all I can say. But the fact is that we don't manage people in Legal Shield. But I will say, ladies and gentlemen, independent associates, leaders, all of you, there's 3 things that are totally vital that you learn how to manage well. 3 things that if you manage these 3 things well, you will have success in business as long as you stay in the game, even through the frustrations. Because remember, if you're not getting what you want, then you're gaining experience, right? You either get what you want or you get experience, right? You never lose. You either win or you learn, right? I mean, just keep that attitude in mind when you have those frustrating days, weeks, or months. Sometimes it can go that long. The good road is coming around the bend. So there's 3 things we need to manage. The first of the 3 things we need to manage as an independent associate is our time. Again, I mentioned earlier that many of us do this on a part-time or spare time basis. And if you're doing this business on a part-time or spare time basis, it's super critical that you manage the couple of hours a day that you're putting into Legal Shield. Now, we are a business that you can do on a part-time basis. You can do this business on a full-time basis. You can even do this business on a spare time basis. But I've never really seen it work well for anyone on a no time basis. You do have to put some time into this business. And if you're part-time, you really need to schedule at least 1 to 2 hours a day, 5 to 10 hours a week, whatever it is, put some time in this business. But you need to manage that time well, because if you're only putting an hour or two into the business, then you want to make sure that in that time that you're doing Legal Shield, you want to be doing money-making activities that will basically put you in the way of getting in front of people, right? Do things that will help grow your income, right? What we call IPA, income producing activity. It's so important that you manage that well, right? I mean, putting labels on certain tools, or doing busy work, or doing reports. I mean, looking on your LS Engage and getting reports. I got to tell you guys, even doing training, any type of training is not income producing activity. Don't do those activities in the money making time. If you scheduled a couple of hours a day after work and before bed to do your Legal Shield, don't do training during that time. Do training after that time or before that time or in between other things during the day. That's when you need to be focused on looking at the training modules or something to learn the business. In the 1 to 2 hours a day, you want to be making calls to identify prospects, right? You want to be doing three-way calls for your prospects that you've exposed to the business. You want to be sending out exposures or creating opportunities to meet with people, even if it's online, virtually. You want to be doing three-way calls for your team, for their prospects. These are money-making activities, right? And that's what you want to focus on the 1 to 2 hours. So it's key that you manage your time. You manage your time, right? Because time is fleeting, right? I mean, you only get that moment, then it's gone, and that's it. The second thing you want to manage, right? First thing is time. The second thing you want to manage is your activity. And I kind of led into that already, because in the 1 to 2 hours that you have, you want to engage in those money-making activities, right? Your activity is everything. So you want to be active in the time that you're doing, in the time that you give Legal Shield. And that is everything, right? I mean, following up with your prospects. I mean, these are things that you need to write down, right? Because we share the opportunity, we share the product, we create exposures, right? We expose everybody. But most people are, fear what they're going to say in the follow-up. What if they say no? But what if they say yes? And then sometimes they said yes, what do I do now? I don't know what to do with them, right? So we fear everything. You really need to get over that, all right? I mean, the key is having someone else to work with, a workout partner, or just someone in the business that is maybe that has the same goal as you, that wants to build with you, and you work together. And that will help you get over those humps that you're going to face in doing the right thing. And I got to tell you, if you manage your time and manage your activities in that time and measure it, write it down, you will basically see, and all you have to focus on is the day you're in. Don't worry about tomorrow's activities, and you can't think about yesterday's activities or the lack of activity. Focus on today, this moment, and do it today. Remember, every step you take in the direction of the thing you want, you are successful in that very moment. So make today successful. Make tomorrow successful when that opportunity comes. And each day you'll be getting closer to your objective. The problem for most folks is that they do nothing in this day, thinking that they can make up for it tomorrow, but they basically do nothing today. That's the simple error in judgment versus doing the simple discipline in doing the thing. Trust me, do the thing today, tomorrow, and then for the next 365 days, I promise you, 1 year from now, you will be a stud in this business, or a studess, whatever you want to be. So number one, manage your time. Number two, manage your activity. Number three, this is vitally important. For those of you that want to build a large team of independent associates, otherwise known as humans, you have to manage your attitude. You have to manage your own personal attitude. And this is so critical because some people just have challenges with that, right? If you want to build a large team of people, people are not going to adapt to who you are. You have to adapt to what they are. That's just the bottom line. If you want to be a leader, you're going to have to basically learn the ability to adapt to other people. Because if you want to build a large team of people, you're going to have people with all different types of personalities, sports affiliations, right? If you're into that, right? You just heard Mr. Browning, kind of, egg some people on, right? Regarding, his team, the Washington football team. I don't call them the Redskins anymore, but the Washington football team versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And that's cool, but you have different attitudes from that. Politics, man, that could be some crap right there, no doubt about it, right? That can create some issues. What about religion? That can create some issues too. You know what I mean? There's one God and there's thousands of religions and people killing themselves over it. We're broken units. Humans are just broken units. You have to understand that. But you want to build a business. You want to build a legal shield business. This is what we all have in common. So you have to manage your attitude as you move along with all these other people. And so you can have multiple personalities, different people at different age ranges, right? Young pros, older pros. We're all pros. But the fact is, you have to determine how you're going to respond, right? It's not what happens that makes the difference. It's how you respond to what happens that makes the difference for other people, right? So there's books that I could recommend. There's two of them that I recommend that everyone take advantage of, and I'm running out of time. Number one is How to Win Friends and Influence People. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. How to Win Friends and Influence People. And the second is Success Through a Positive Mental Attitude. Success Through a Positive Mental Attitude by Napoleon Hill and W. Clement Stone. Napoleon Hill and W. Clement Stone. Now, both of these are books, and both of them you can get in the audio program. But the Success Through a Positive Mental Attitude, I suggest and I recommend best the audio. And you can probably get that right on YouTube for free. Both of them, quite frankly, you can access the audios on YouTube. But if you get the audio version of Success Through a Positive Mental Attitude, you'll actually hear Napoleon Hill in his own voice, W. Clement Stone in his own voice, sharing some of the philosophies that helped him become majorly successful. And these are just some of the philosophies that helped build my attitude on the way to building a business and getting along with others. Those are the three things, right? Manage your time, manage your activity, manage your attitude. And if you get real good with managing those three things, through success in Legal Shield, you'll have the opportunity to manage your big bank account. I promise. And that's hot. This is off the chain. But it happens one day at a time. And it's so subtle in that day. Do not neglect the value of the day and the moment that you're in. Do the thing, and you'll ultimately have the power. And the compound effect of your daily activity and daily effort will basically make you a superstar in a year, 2, 3, 5 years. You'll get all the goals that you want to reach in this business. One last thing I want to leave you with is another philosophy. Number one, nothing lasts. Nothing lasts. Number two, nothing is finished. Number one, nothing lasts. Nothing lasts, right? That's good times or bad times. Nothing lasts. Number two, nothing is finished. Nothing is ever finished. You have to take a sense of urgency to just keep doing the thing. And number three, no one and nothing is perfect. No one and nothing is perfect, including you. So stop procrastinating, try to make it right, and just do the damn thing, and let's go make some money. Mr. Gonzalez, I appreciate you for having me on. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go make it happen and take it to the next level. Let's go do this.
Mr. Malloy, thank you so much, my friend. Always bringing the fire. I love it. You know what's great, guys? He's from New York, but he's in Florida. He's in Florida right now.
I'm in Florida. I am in Florida.
We appreciate you building in our backyard, and more importantly, taking the time to be with us tonight. I know you got other things that you could be doing, but we truly appreciate your servant leadership and everything you've done, not just for us, but for the company, my friend.
Thank you, sir. God bless you all. Thank you.
Absolutely. So without any further ado, folks, I would like to bring in our final speaker. That was Mr. Cliff Malloy that just spoke. Again, incredible. Now we're going to transition and we're going to move to Mr. Darnell Self, ladies and gentlemen, $1 million ring earner, Platinum World Council member, the EVP of Network and Business Development for your company. An incredible father, an entrepreneur, a millionaire maker. I could say a million things about this guy. But the one thing I don't think that gets talked about enough is this gentleman's heart, right? He never says no. He's all about helping people honestly. So without any further ado, ladies and gents, I'm going to go ahead and let him do exactly that. Come on in and pour into you. I hope you're ready to take some notes because he's bringing the fire. Mr. Self, over to you, sir.
What's going on, Florida? Hey, I apologize. I'm on my cell phone here. Typically, I would chime in from my laptop, but I'm multitasking here and hosting a Zoom on my laptop here. So I apologize for being on my phone. Again, typically, I would make sure that I'm on my laptop so you guys can see me landscape. All right, so let me put that in. Bam, boom. There we go. Multitasking. All right, guys. So listen. Let me just say this. I made so many mistakes and still do. Like so many mistakes. Like whatever you're thinking right now, like whatever the amount is in your head right now, more than that. Like no joke, more than that. And those mistakes became signposts for me. So when I started, for those who don't know my story, I was behind the 8 ball, as they like to say. I was driving my father's pickup truck. I didn't have a cell phone. I eventually got a cell phone on Mike Hume's credit, by the way. For those who don't know, Mike Hume's a $700,000 ring earner today, but back then he was the mailman. He had the job. I had already quit my job because the mall where I worked at a men's and women's clothing store. No joke, I'm not kidding. They were doing more shooting than buying clothes. Literally, people were getting shot in the food court. I'm not even exaggerating. And so I was like, man, I'm not getting killed over clothes. I mean, it was just bad environment. So I quit my job thinking I could find another job. And I worked at a men's and women's clothing store. I'm like, the Gap, Old Navy. I mean, I can get a job somewhere in retail. But how many of you all know sometimes you have a plan in your head and it doesn't work out exactly how you think it's going to work out? And I wish I could find words to express this. Like I've failed at trying to find words to express what it feels like when you're not sure how you're going to make it through another day. Like I haven't quite found words to express the emotions of feeling like, why is life like this? Like it hurt. And I'm not being overly dramatic. It's just, I don't know how to express that feeling. If you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. It's like, come on, D. I'm talking to myself, right? Come on, D, you're better than this. And it hurt. You know what I mean? And then I get another bill. And I'm like, how am I gonna pay this $800? I can't even pay this one sitting here, $200. And then at the same time, I'm trying to get my wife, keep her excited. You know what I mean? And I got kids. And then, and all of that, listen, because I want you guys to see before I get into my 10 minutes, that's it. I've got it planned here, 10 minutes and I'm done. I'm not sure why I even said yes to Legal Shield. Like, I don't know, in my right mind, I'm not sure why I would say yes, because I'm feeling all of this, like really trying, and this has gone on for about a year at this time, right? Just trying to figure it out, right? I'm delivering phone books, which I'm aging myself now, right? In the back of my father's pickup truck, because I can make some extra money doing that. I was a courier downtown, taking packages back and forth. Just whatever I could. I tried to get a job at the airport late at night so that no one would see that I was sweeping floors at the airport. They didn't hire me, by the way. They called me overqualified. So I'm going through all this. So I don't want you guys to think I was a lazy man. I'm willing to work. I couldn't get a job after applying to these different places. So things got worse before they got better. August, I joined Legal Shield September that year. August of that year is when I walked out the house and my car had already been repossessed and my wife's car was gone. I mean, I struggled to keep it going as long as I could, guys. And you know how you hit another point and it's like, what else could happen? And my wife's car was gone. And 6 days after that, we received a letter from an attorney saying my house was going to be auctioned off. A month after that is when I was introduced to Legal Shield. So I just want you guys to know where I was, because sometimes I think I fail again at expressing where I was mentally, guys. Like, it was a bad place for me, like a really bad place. And 1 month after all of that crap, I get introduced to Legal Shield in a bad way. It wasn't even a good way. Like, I was introduced in a bad way. And so now I'm like, what is this? And the company was great, but I was in a bad place. So I say all that to you all because when I joined Legal Shield, I was at a different mindset than some people. So a lot of folks, I say it because I had a head start. The head start was unfair. It was unfair. I was being pushed, right? My motivation was different than a lot of people. Some people start, they have a good job. Some people start and things are okay. They don't have to prospect. You know what I mean? They don't have, I had to. There was no choice. People are like, well, I'm a little shy. I'm shy. I'm an introvert, but I had to, guys. I had a choice. You know what I mean? I felt like, man, I'm at the bottom now. There's nowhere else but up. So a couple of things. I plugged in. I plugged into everything, guys. I plugged into everything. And so people are like, man, how'd you get better? I plugged in. And so I plugged in to others, and I plugged in to tools. So I plugged into others, like people. I'm like, whenever someone did something, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna get there. I said, we're the top income earners. They said they're all in Georgia at that time, right? They were like, it's Nick Serba, it's Dave Savola, it's Michael Dorsey Sr., right? They're all in Georgia. I'm like, I gotta figure out a way to get there. We were in a van, we all went there. This is what I mean by plugging in, guys. This is why it's hard for me to accept when people are like, well, I'm gonna see if I can make it. And they really don't have anything going on except they were gonna go to the movies. You know what I mean? Because I know where I was. And they said they wanted like, man, I just wanted like you, man. I'm trying, no, you don't. No, you don't. Stop saying it. So, and I hope I'm not being too hard on you guys. I'm just saying, I wanted it so badly, guys. You couldn't stop. My wife is like, you need to sleep more, go to bed. No, I can't sleep. I'm broke. I can't sleep. We're losing cars. I can't sleep. Like, what do you mean sleep? You know what I mean? And she was like, I'm worried about you. I'm like, yeah, but I got to get it. We can't live like this again. And when I say I went through tons of no's, my friends calling it a pyramid, and my family members like, dude, what's wrong with you? Just get a regular job. So I plugged in though. I plugged into the tools. So I was listening to other folks like, you guys have this opportunity, right? Things are different now. You got podcasts, YouTube, you got your online tutorials and your back office and LS Engage. You're like, well, I mean, how many times have you gone to listen to the fundamental skills? How many times have you gone to listen to the courses? How many, you know what I mean? This is every night. I had it memorized, guys. I had Dave Savola down. I had him down. I mean, I had him down. Some of you know, because he was like, still don't know my joke, because back then the ticker symbol was PPD. I was like, yeah, that stands for please pay Darnell. He's like, you stole it. I was like, I stole everything you do, brother. Everything you did. I just took it. And I was just like, hit it. And then I began to massage it. So that's what I mean by plugging in. Anybody can do this. Everything I've said to you so far, you can do. You can plug in. You can listen to the audios, right? You can go to the events. And right now the events are Zoom. So you're not even driving to Georgia. Like this is Florida. You just zoomed in. But guess what? The majority of folks who were invited to Zoom in did not Zoom in. We didn't ask them to drive 10 hours. We didn't ask them to rent a car. We didn't have to put gas. They just had to Zoom in. This is what, and so which brings to my next step. All right, because I got a few minutes left. So plug in. I plugged in, and it just got me better. And money didn't come right away, by the way. Yes, I made some money because of membership, marketing and membership. When people said no to the opportunity, I always fell back on the membership. Hey, listen, opportunity isn't for everybody. That's okay, man. I know it probably wouldn't be for you anyway, but don't worry about that. People hate when you take it away from them, by the way. I know it probably wouldn't be for you anyway, but don't worry about that. But I know the membership is, man. I know you got to protect your family because I know you love them enough to do that, man. So what should we had back then was paper app. So I was like, what should we have that membership sent? And I started writing. Right now, it's like, hey, listen, let me get you the link right now. Let's walk right through this, man. So you get this protection started right now. I just assume to sell. I assume to sell. You know what an assumption is? It's like what I have is good for you. That's what the assumption is. What I have is good for you. I assume what I have is good for everybody. That's what I assume. Until you tell me it's not, I assume what I have is good for you. So, so number one, I plugged in. Number two, this was a big one for me, guys. This is a huge one for me. I started leaving people behind. I tried to bring, listen, for 8 months, man, I'm telling you, and some of you are going to get it after 8 years. Some of you are going to get it after 18 months. Some of you are going to get it after 18 days, which I pray because you get to learn what I'm sharing with you right now. So you don't have to take 8 months to do it. Because when you eventually get it, here's what's going to happen. I already know it's going to happen. It's going to happen to you, Mr. Gonzalez. Once you get it and your income explodes, you're going to say to yourself, why in the world didn't I do this before? Because your heart wouldn't allow you to. Your heart wouldn't allow you to. We felt like holding on to others was what we were supposed to do. And what we're supposed to do is let go of those who were not willing to run so that we can grab a hold of those who are willing to join and run. And when I stopped spending time trying to fix and spent most of my time trying to find, I started to find. When I spent most of my time trying to fix, I found myself in a cycle, right? I would have some success and then I wouldn't have success. I would have some success and then I wouldn't have success. And right? So your income was 4,000, 6,000, 8,000, 3,000, 4,000, 6,000, 2,000, 10,000, 4,000. That's how my income was. Right? Or it could be, it doesn't matter. Forget the dollar signs. 800, 1,000, 200. No check, 400, right? It doesn't matter where you are in the business. You could be brand new. That's what happens when your heart gets in the way. And I'm not talking about your heart to do right in morals and values and character. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is trying to drag people to the finish line. This is a business, guys. I have a nonprofit. This is not one of them. This isn't one of them. And so all I'm saying, guys, is that we have to get to a place where we're going to leave people behind. The willingness to leave people behind. I'm not saying you have to. I'm saying the willingness. Like, hey, listen, this is what I got to do for my family. Like right now, I have my goals in front of me, right? I vividly imagine them. And if you can't vividly imagine your goals, it means that you have to put them in, you have to put something in front of you that helps you to see what it is that you vividly imagine. For an example, if you love time freedom with your family, then you should have some type of trips or something in front of you visually where you can see this is where I want to be. I want to hang out in the water with my family. I want to be able to travel to Greece with my wife. I don't know what it is, but visually you got to see that bad boy. Maybe you like cars, maybe you like giving, maybe you like, right? So you write yourself a check to a nonprofit. You put nonprofit, you put missions, you put ministry, and $100,000. Of course, boy, you never cash that thing. But my point is, you got to see that thing all the time. I saw it all the time, and I still see it today. So because I wanted that more than I wanted to drag this person who didn't see it like I saw it, I let them go to get me closer to that. Sounds easy, right? It's not. It's not. So what happens is you ever know, you ever met people who hold on to something so tight in their past that they can never get to what's available for them in the future? Like they're holding on to good, so they never get great. That was D-Self. That was me. So if I could give you this second piece of advice, would be willing to let people go. And again, I'm not being mean. I'm not being insensitive. I'm just saying that everybody wants it like you. And you have to appreciate that everybody's going to be willing to show up just like tonight. And it should say something to you. It should say something to you. When you've invited people who say, man, I want this thing. Hey, man, I'm sorry I missed you tonight, man, on the Florida event, man. And they say, yeah, man, I was just, tonight, man, it's had a long day at work. Now, don't get me wrong. Hey, mom had to go to the hospital, COVID. I get that, right? Things happen. But if it was like, hey, man, just chilling, it said, don't beat up on them, but it tells you something. It tells you something. Listen, this is how you know you found the person. I got one more thing. This is how you know you found the person. When they show up on the call before you click, you're like, they already on here 5 minutes early. You call them and say, man, don't forget about the Zoom tonight. They're like, oh, don't worry about me. I already got 3 of my teammates doing it too. What? This is how you know. And that's what you're working with. From that point on, you're like, oh, I'm marrying this person. Not officially marrying them, but you know what I mean? You're connected to them. That's what I talk to all the time. I got a focus group. Everything, I don't care what the company comes out. The company says, oh, we got a PC push. Great. I'm not assuming that they're going to get it from the leadership show. I'm calling them on the phone with them. I'm texting them, hey, you see what just came out PC push? That's my focus group. They're always going to hear from me. Those are folks I work with. Developing new leaders. All right, guys, got that? Number 1, plug in. Number 2, we're willing to leave some people behind. These are all things that I did right and did wrong in the beginning, right? When I plugged in, I started saying things differently. People are like, man, that's good. I'm like, I know. And guess what? Here's a great thing. I'm gonna tell y'all a secret. Look, I'm getting close to my phone, like I gotta talk lower, but I really don't, because you guys don't hear me saying, but it's funny. So, do you know that when you plug in and others don't, you sound like you're more profound, like you impress people. They're like, that was good. And I'm like, I know, I got out of the book of the month, but they didn't read the book. They pretended to. That's how you know they didn't read it, because you said something that was right out of the book they could have read. But because they never heard it before, it tells you they didn't read it. Right? Tonight, some of you are taking notes off of all the great speakers you had today. And tomorrow you're gonna say something that comes out and they're gonna be like, dude, that was cool. And they live in Florida. They were invited. They didn't join, so you sound good. They're like, dude, that, whoa, hold on, say that one more time. Give me my pen. Hey, give me my pen. And but guess what? They weren't on. So you sound good. They could have got it when you got it. I'm telling you. So people are like, you so good. No, I'm not. I just plug in. Okay. Last thing, guys, and that is this one was one of the things I did right. Year one. I did 90,000 my first year. Our biggest year in recruiting, just because I want you to see how this build up. Now I don't have time, so I'm not going to go through it all. I'm going to tell you the beginning and the end. So we did 90,000 our first year. And then 5 years later, we ended up over 50,000 recruits for the year. In a 12-month time frame, 50,000 recruits for the team. And I'm going to tell you what we did right now. We were consistent. So never let our foot off the gas. Never let our foot off the gas. Consistency is key. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself doing this. Consistency is key. And we did massive promotions, right? Which is what you guys did for tonight. That means I did not take for granted that people would just show up. I made all the calls personally. I sent reminder texts. Hey, don't forget the call starting in 5 minutes, right? If we all did that, we have more people show up to things. And because more people showed up, more people got to hear from people who were teaching me that way, because none of that happened because of me. So I hope you're not taking this as this dude is arrogant or pompous. That didn't come from me. It came because we were so blessed to tell people to get in front of these people. And those folks taught my team for me. And then we all grew. That was it, guys. I know it sounds simple because it's something we all can do, right? I didn't have a big team. People like, you called all those people, all 28 that were working? Like that was all the people. I had hundreds on the team, but 28 who were working? You mean I just got to call them? Now, people make it seem like, dude, if you got a job, you're probably going to spend more time doing more things than that. And I even told people, hey, listen, I got 60 seconds. I just want to call you real quick. Make sure you have the information for the night. It's happening. Bam. That was it. That's it. Massive promotion. And we stayed consistent with it. And it just grew. And all of a sudden exploded. All right, guys, that's it. Hey, Mr. Gonzalez, I appreciate you putting this together. Thanks for the invite. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys at the International Convention. I know we all won't be in person, but we'll be connected by our hearts. Appreciate you guys. Have an amazing night.